Yeah. So with that, because we've had a lot of difficulties and we've been gabbing for a bit, what I'm wondering if you could maybe walk us through a typical session for someone, and we'll do the past life thing because I think that's the most fascinating, and I think it actually does the most help.
Oh, that's so wonderful. Sure, yeah. Okay. So a session begins with, before we even start the session, we have a bit of a conversation about, I want to get some details. Because people come with a problem. So I want to just dive deeper. What are the symptoms that you're experiencing because of that problem? So for some people, I had a client recently who was afraid of being in an elevator. So her symptoms were, heart racing, dry throat, sweaty palms, things like that, just even from thinking about being in an elevator.
It's
So what are
doing
the
it to me.
symptoms? Oh, sorry. And what are the triggers? Like for her, just thinking about it, that would start it. If she had to go to a meeting and she had to think about how she would get to that meeting. And then what are the habits? What habits do you have because of whatever problem you're bringing, whether it's, letting go of weight or stopping drinking or things like that? What are the habits you're engaging in? So are you overeating? Um, are you not drinking water? Things like that. So I want to find out what are those details, and then how is this affecting your life? And then I want to find out how your life would be if you didn't have this issue. So we do this kind of intake and really get clear on what the actual problem we can solve is, because sometimes it's a little different than what people
Yeah.
think it is. So in the session itself, we're going to go into that deep relaxation, no pendulum swinging like we talked about. I'm just going to talk you into that state of relaxation. And for some people, it takes a little longer. If your mind races or you just have that active mind, we do a lot of deep relaxation to get in that place. And I love taking on clients, Kiki, that have a harder time going into hypnosis because it's just about being suggestible, and everybody can be really suggestible. So I'm not afraid of that. And
Yeah.
anyway,
And if
so
I
I'm
could
gonna go,
bust in
yep,
for a second, the fact that you were willing to take me out, because so many people were either, I didn't tell them ahead of time and they were like, thank God, because it would have set me up for failure. So you knew ahead of time, and instead of getting nerves, you were more prepared. So for me, I think you just took longer with getting me. Okay, go on.
yeah, just so relaxing your whole body first, right? Let's just relax, forget about the mind. Let's get your body calmed first. And then we went into, taking you through that induction. So we just call it an induction. We're going to walk down the stairs and things like that, just to get you into that state of suggestibility. And then once you're there, I'm going to take you back to some scenes that have all to do with why you've got this problem. When did it start? Where does it come from? Because it's definitely coming from something.
Yeah.
And so we can go back to scenes. So we can go back to past lives. Like this particular client I talked about with the fear of the elevators. She had some really interesting past lives, being stuck in a jail, being stuck in a prison in a past life, just for speaking her mind as a woman back in dark ages, let's say. And then, being stuck in a silo. That was really a difficult scene for her. And in the scene, you're observing. So even though you're in it and you can feel it and hear what's going on, you are still observing, so you are safe. And we discussed that beforehand. Um, so we go through these scenes because we're looking for the root cause reason of this problem. And your mind is amazing. It's going to come up with the right scenes for you. Even they might be things you don't remember. It could be past lives, or even in this life, it could be something you don't remember. And we're going to get some understanding and some clarity about what this problem is doing for you. And I don't know if we did this in our sessions, but one of my favorite things is having a dialogue. So if there's someone in your past, in your life, that has hurt your feelings or been mean, um, done something that's been very hurtful to you, we get to have this conversation with them if it's appropriate and relevant for the situation, for the scenes, so that you can tell them off, tell them everything that came of their
Well, we
their
need to
mis.
do that. I do
Yes,
that.
okay.
I do that in real time.
It's
Nothing less
so
than that.
powerful. I love it so much because my clients get all their power back. They just take back that power, that trust in themselves that they lost through those kinds of interactions, like with teachers or siblings that are mean or other students in their lives,
Yeah.
you know, when we're kids, or parents,
Well,
things like that. So that's favorite things to do. There's a lot we can do in a session, you
mhm.
know, upgrading a child, kind of bringing your, talking to your inner child and giving them that upgrade experience. So you're bringing in more love,
Yeah.
more power,
Well,
strength to
and then
yourself.
there's work to do afterwards as well. Correct.
Yeah.
And I'm going to admit, which I already told you, I'm very bad when it comes to homework, even though we did the 2 sessions and it was
Yeah.
wonderful. And on a side note, I could not have a lot of dialoguing. If you recall, I had to keep more quiet because it's almost like pulling myself out of a dream. So I have to be careful not to do that. But the homework, so you give people different homework based on what it, what is that about?
Yeah. So toward the end of the session, we're going to let go of all the negative, you know, that has come up in the scenes and the problem itself. And then we're going to move into the transformation. And the transformation is part of the homework. So at the end, when we've released all the negative, then I start, you know, pouring into you while you're really suggestible, all the stuff that you want to hear, all the, you know, the descriptor words and the way you want to be. And uh, that's to wire your brain for that positivity. So you start being like that. That becomes your inner loop. And your homework is to listen to that particular recording. I make it separately and give it to you. And you've got to listen to that for 21 days
Okay,
to,
I need to get that
mm,
started. Um,
don't worry. It's still
can you
later.
tell if someone has not like as a dog trainer when I used to train dogs, I knew if my clients were lying, oh yeah, I work her every day. Oh, baloney. You say sit in your dog's leg. What? You haven't worked her at all. So they kind of tell on you, or their leash is still brand new. Can you tell if somebody hasn't done their homework?
Well, I tend to follow up with my clients and ask how they're doing. And sometimes they're like, "Oh God, I haven't listened to the recording." And you know, I stopped doing my exercise or I had a few drinks again and I'm going to listen to your recording again. So for sure, but you know, I'm not going to harass you. That it's your choice. We're adults. You get to choose your own adventure. But it is the most helpful thing to keep listening to that so that you start really letting that sink in, all that positivity,
Yeah.
you know, it's that
No,
self-talk.
I got you. Um, and how often, I know I'm just gonna skip over the subject. How often do people, like I did two, I think mine were a pretty quick succession. They were maybe 3 weeks apart. I don't recall. I don't, for me, I need some more time in between because I'm always afraid that I'm gonna have a hard time getting under. But how often do you think, like if somebody goes in for a real die hard, like they've been smoking their whole life and they love smoking and they chain smoke with 2 hands, and their medium suggestibility level. How many times do they have to go through more than once typically if they're not like the easiest person?
Sure, I think two is really appropriate and then see, you know, go from there. Definitely 2 sessions, sometimes three, but I find two to be really effective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so those were most of the questions I had. Do you know what I want to know though? Does
Okay.
anyone do it like just for fun? And I kind of feel like my first one, even though it was hard work and it really was some deep stuff, I feel like it was kind
Yeah.
of for fun, because when I did it, when I finally, I mean, when you were the first person to get me in there, I was, oh, that's so funny. You're my first live as well. But anyway, it was amazing to finally have that happen. So for me, it was really just for fun. So do some people just do it for fun, whereas they don't need homework? They're just exploring past lives, or what? I don't know that you quit smoking for fun, but whatever floats your boat. And hi, Julia. Okay, go on.
Yeah, oh, for sure. People do it just for fun, especially for past lives. Some people, they just want to know. You know, I have a client coming next week. She just wants to know if she had a past life with someone else that's in her life now. Generally, the answer is going to be yes. So we're going to explore what that was or what those lives were.
Yeah.
So sure, some people do it just for fun or just for the experience.
But you can help
But most,
relationships as well, right? Romantic
yes,
relationships if there's issues. And that was initially 5 years ago when I first started, trying to
yeah,
look into it. It was because of something like that. So, I mean, you can
yeah,
heal people in a million ways.
right, yeah, right.
Very interesting. All right. Well, I don't want this to be, too long. I wanted to get as much out of you as I could. I love having you on. You are very well spoken. You talk so much more than you do in our development circle. But I know that's not about talking, that's about meditating. And again, you see, is there anything you want to bring up or throw in?
Oh, well, I would like to make a point because we talked about weight loss and something that we learn how powerful the mind is. I've got a question. When you think about losing your keys, what do you think? How does that make you feel?
Well, that's a daily. So for me, I'm just a little like, I get a little flustered. I'm like, dang it, why can't I? You know what? This is my own thing. I can curse if I want to. I don't say curse. I say swear. I don't know why I didn't say it. But if I want to say shit, I can't find my keys. That's perfectly okay. The youngest person on here is old enough to hear it. That's Juju. Um, I I get a little frustrated. It gets frustrating. It's hard. I feel a little, like, oh, what am I, stunad? You know, I can't find my keys again. So it's not the best feeling in the world.
Okay, so you feel frustrated and then you want to find your keys, right? Okay, so that's the mind. It wants to keep you safe. You need to find what you've lost. So if you are thinking about losing weight, your mind is going to want to try to find it because loss is bad. Loss is bad to the mind. You don't want to lose a pet, you don't want to lose a person, you don't want to lose your keys, you don't want to lose a job. So that's your mind is going to try to find it again. And so
It does a good job.
yes, it does. That's the mind's job, and the mind loves what's familiar.
Yeah.
So when we talk about um, letting go of weight in sessions, it's more about releasing weight or shedding weight,
Yeah.
instead of losing. So I just wanted to throw that in
That
because
makes
you brought
a
up
lot
the
of
weight.
sense. And
And
how
it's
long are your sessions typically?
about 2 hours.
Okay. So people need to plan around that and then, doing the 21 days. Gosh, I remember you telling me that now. I'm so bad. The 21 days of homework. As far as pricing, I'm going to put your site on the, I feel so professional, in the comments below, but I'll do it, obviously after this. So the replay will be up forever, you guys, unless I look at it and I'm totally mortified that I was on sideways for the first minute. And Christine's like, yeah, hi. Thank God.
No
Um,
biggie. We had tech problems. Here I am sitting in my bed because I had to plug my phone in. That was probably all the problems.
it's you know what? I'm glad to have gotten it out of the way. It's a big thing. And hey, everybody, I painted my room a while ago. So what do you all think? That's the best blue in the world, right? I like it. It looked like Cookie Monster, is what my niece Megan said. Cookie Monster blue. That's all I can see now. But I have a print of Kali, which I would turn this whole thing, but you'll see the messy rest of the room, so I don't want to do that. Anyway, none of that matters. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But Mary, do you have anything else? I think this is great. I'm really glad. I feel like we got some good explaining done.
Uh, no, yeah, just you can send people to my website or to my Facebook page, Mary Scalise Hypnosis. If you have questions, just message me.
Okay,
Yeah, reach out to me.
good. I will post that. I want to start doing this, and getting different people on. This was a whole lot of fun. Mary really is great. Honestly, when you were gone for that bit, I was explaining, but I've driven 2 hours in one direction for this other guy who came so highly recommended. I've done phone ones. I went to a woman's office she's on the news all the time and has, little TV stints here and there and does corporate hypnosis. And they tried multiple times and nobody was able to. And the time Mary looked at me and she goes, "Oh, I love it. I'll do it." And I was like, "Holy shit, really?" And I could not be happier, which is, why I want to get you on here and just say all these great things about you. So that's that
So
for today.
all
I was trying to watch
right.
comments. I don't see where there were any questions, but
I don't see comments.
okay. So are we good? We think that length was great. Everything was good.
Yeah, I'm trying to click on that, but I can't. Oh well. All right. Well, I'll see you later. See you
Oh,
next week.
yes,
Thank
and
you.
yes, I'll see you on Wednesday. And I'm gonna put her, put her website in the comments there. And thank you guys for coming. And I hope everybody enjoys the replay. And I'll be more real the next time. I was just a little bit, trepidatious because I like big words. All right, I love you all. It was a blast. Thank you, Mary, for coming. And I'll talk to you guys later. See you soon.